The human starship Aurora moved through the black ocean of space. No stars twinkled here. The alien capital world of Vether Prime was close, only a few hours away. Inside the ship, the crew worked in silence. No one spoke loudly. The air felt heavy like the calm before a storm. Everyone knew the importance of this mission. This was not a warship's journey. This was a peace mission. Captain Elias stood near the large viewing window. His eyes were fixed on the distant blue glow of Vether Prime. He was a tall man with silver hair, his face lined by years of service. But today, there was something else in his eyes' hope. On the main deck, Ambassador Mira Chen prepared for the meeting. She was humanity's most trusted diplomat, known for her calm voice and unshakable will. She wore the white and gold uniform of the United Earth Alliance. "Mira," Captain Elias said quietly, "the galaxy is watching you today." She smiled faintly. "Then I will give them something worth watching." The plan was simple. Mira would land on Vether Prime, enter the alien council chamber, and negotiate a treaty to end years of cold tension between humans and the Jareth Alliance. No one expected trouble. Not here. Not now. The Aurora descended into the alien atmosphere, guided by automated landing beacons. Vether Prime was beautiful from the air-towering crystal spires, vast green plains, and shining rivers of liquid light. The Alien Council. Buildings stood at the heart of the capital. Its walls were made of black stone that absorbed light instead of reflecting it. It was ancient, older than any human city. The landing doors opened. Myra stepped out first, flanked by 2 honor guards. Captain Elias stayed behind, watching from the ship's command room. Every crew member was gathered around the main screen, which displayed the live transmission from Mira's personal camera. She walked across the wide plaza toward the council gates. Alien guards in silver armor stood like statues, their insect-like. Faces did not move. Inside the council chamber, the air was dim and cold. 12 alien leaders sat in a half-circle, their black eyes glittering in the low light. The High Chancellor, a tall figure with a crown of bone-like ridges, rose slowly from his seat. Ambassador Chen, his voice echoed, deep and slow. "Welcome to Vether Prime." Mira bowed slightly. "I come on behalf of the United Earth Alliance. We seek peace," static crackled over the video feed. The sound cut in and out. "To build a future without fear," she continued. "Our people," the feed broke again. Elias frowned. "Engineering, fix that signal," he ordered. The image returned. Mira was still standing, but the alien leaders had not moved. The Chancellor's long, clawed hands rested on the table. His black eyes never blinked. There was a long, cold silence. Then, without warning, 2 alien guards stepped forward. Their blades flashed. Gasps filled the Aurora's command room. "Mira," Elias shouted. The camera fell to the ground. The view turned sideways. For a brief second, they saw Mira's face, her eyes wide, her lips moving to say something, but no sound came. The feed went dark. The crew stood frozen. No one breathed. Then the screen lit up again. But Myra was gone. In her place stood the High Chancellor, holding something in his clawed hand. It was a small piece of red cloth. It took a moment for everyone to realize what it was. The human flag. Blood stained its edges. No words, no warning. Just the alien leader staring into the camera before cutting the transmission. For several seconds, no one moved. The silence on the bridge was heavier than steel. Lieutenant Harrow whispered, They killed her. Captain Elias did not reply. His jaw tightened. His hands clenched into fists. On Earth, the transmission had been broadcast. Lived to millions. Across human colonies on Mars, Titan and the Belt people had seen it. The galaxy had seen it. Orders came quickly from the United Earth Council. Do not retaliate. Maintain position. Await further instructions. The captain read the message twice. He almost laughed. They had just watched the execution of Earth's most respected diplomat. The council wanted them to wait, but orders were orders. For now, that night, Elias stood alone in the observation deck. The alien capital glowed faintly in the distance, a jewel in the dark. He thought of Mira's last look, fear mixed with something else. Not regret, not despair, resolve. He knew this was not the end. Somewhere deep inside the Aurora, the ship's engines hummed softly. The crew was silent, but he could feel it, the slow burn of anger building in every human heart aboard. The silence before the storm, and the storm was coming. The Aurora floated in high orbit above Ether Prime, silent witness to the crime. For 2 days, the crew had not moved closer, not retreated, just waited. Captain Elias walked through the main corridor. The faces he passed were pale and tense. No one laughed. No one spoke unless necessary. They had all seen it. The death of Ambassador Mira Chen. The bloody flag. The Chancellor's cold stare. Officially, the mission was still under review by the United Earth Council. In reality, it was already over. In the capital city below, alien patrol ships circled the skies. Every human transmission was jammed, except for one secure channel the aliens allowed. Every time Elias used it, the Jareth replied with the same message. The envoy was a spy. She was punished under our law. No further discussion. The crew knew it was a lie, proving it was impossible. Late on the second night, Elias received a private message from Mars Command. The sender's code was one he had not seen in years. Black Dawn. Protocol. He read the encrypted text twice before it burned itself from the screen. Turned to rendezvous point Sigma 4. Absolute silence. No logs. You are recalled for Operation Black Dawn. This is not a request. The next morning, the Aurora's engines ignited. They broke orbit without a word to the Jareth. The alien patrols followed for a while, then turned away. Hours later, the Aurora slid into the shadow of a massive asteroid belt. There, hidden among the rocks, waited 3 other human ships. Vigilant, Horizon, the old carrier Atlas. Inside the Atlas, Admiral Rourke was waiting. Rourke was a large man with a face like carved stone. He had been retired for nearly a decade, but the war stories about him still made the rounds in space bars and training halls. Elias, Rourke greeted, his voice deep and gravelly. Wish we were meeting under better circumstances. Elias didn't waste time. What happened? Rourke nodded slowly. We all did. The council wants to send a letter of protest. His mouth twisted in disgust. The Jareth will laugh at us, then they'll take more. They moved into the war room. The walls were lined with glowing tactical maps. Elias saw red markers spread across the star charts. Alien patrol zones, defense lines, occupied human colonies near the border. Rourke pointed to one blinking red marker deep inside alien space. That's Vather Prime, the heart of the snake. Elias frowned. I'm not saying anything. Rourke cut in. I'm telling you. The council has not approved this. They won't, but humanity cannot wait. Jareth think we're soft. Need to show them what happens when you cut down one of ours. The plan was simple in words, impossible in action. Slip past alien patrol lines. Destroy a key Jareth military hub. Do it without leaving. Proof humanity was responsible. It was the kind of mission that could start a full-scale war if it went wrong. But after Mira's death, no one in that room cared. Back on the Aurora, Lieutenant Harrow intercepted a strange signal. It was faint, bouncing off asteroid fields and dust clouds, but it was definitely alien. Elias played the recording. The voice was sharp, hissing in Jareth's tongue, but the translation AI quickly decoded it. The execution was not part of the treaty plan. Chancellor has gone too far. The others will not follow. The room went still, internal conflict. Harrow asked. Elias nodded slowly. If the message was true, then not all alien leaders agreed with the Chancellor's actions. That could mean weakness. It could also mean a trap. That night, Elias stood in the Aurora's observation dome, staring at the endless field of stars. Somewhere out there, hidden in the dark, the Jareth fleets were moving. Somewhere, alien leaders whispered their own plans. The silence felt heavier now, like the universe itself was holding its breath in the shadows of the asteroid belt. Human ships prepared for something that could never be undone. The whispers had started. and soon the galaxy would hear the roar. For 3 days, the human ships hid in the asteroid belt, running silent. Lights dimmed, engines cold, every system locked in stealth mode. Only quiet radio codes passed between them. The galaxy thought they were still in orbit around Vether Prime. The Jareth believed they had obeyed the Council's order to wait, but inside the Atlas war room, Admiral Rourke's voice was low and sharp. "We strike first. We strike hard, and we don't give them time to breathe." Captain Elias stared at the glowing map on the table. Red enemy patrols swirled around one bright target, Core Station, a massive alien fortress guarding the route to Vether Prime. If Core fell, the road to the alien capital would be open. Core was considered unbreakable. Even the bravest human commanders had avoided it. Elias understood the risk. If we hit Core, they'll know who did it. Rourke's gaze was like iron. They already know who we are. They just don't know what we're capable of. The plan was dangerous, even for soldiers used to impossible odds. The Vigilant would fake a reactor leak and drift close to Core. Once in range, it would open fire with its railgun, a weapon so powerful it could split a moon in half. The Aurora and Horizon would jump in seconds later, unleashing missile swarms and drone fighters. The Atlas would stay back, coordinating and jamming alien communications. It was quick, brutal, and one step from open war. Hours later, the Vigilant began its approach. Its hull lights flickered weakly to sell the reactor leak story. Scanners probed it, found nothing hostile, and allowed it to pass deeper into the defense zone. Inside, Captain Drex of the Vigilant counted down quietly. Railgun charge. 40%, 60%, 80%. In the asteroid belt, Elias sat in the Aurora's command chair, eyes locked on the targeting feed. His crew was tense, waiting for the words. "Target locked," Drex reported. "Core's outer shield. Generator firing." The railgun roared, a soundless flash in the vacuum of space. The slug it launched traveled at 6 times the speed of sound, slamming into Core's main shield tower. For a fraction of a second, nothing happened. Then the entire side of the fortress exploded outward in a blinding storm of fire and debris. Core's shield collapsed. "Go, go, go." Rourke's voice thundered over COMMs. The Aurora and Horizon jumped in, weapons hot. Missiles streaked toward the exposed fortress walls. Drone fighters poured out like a swarm of metal insects, cutting down. Alien defense turrets. Inside Core, alarms screamed. Alien ships scrambled to launch. But human missiles were already tearing through their docking bays. On the Aurora, Elias gave rapid orders. "Target the power core. No survivors in command." The crew worked like a single mind, loading, firing, reloading. Explosions bloomed across the alien fortress, each one brighter than the last. An alien destroyer broke through the chaos, racing toward the Aurora Harrow railgun. Elias barked. A single shot punched through the destroyer's center. It spun away, lifeless, into the void. In less than 7 minutes, Core Station, a fortress said to be unbreakable, was burning wreckage. Pieces of its shattered hull drifted into space. Its comm signals went silent. The human ships pulled back into the asteroid shadows before the main alien fleet could arrive. For a few minutes, no one spoke. The crews were still catching their breath. Finally, Rourke's voice came over the line. "History will remember this day. The Jareth wanted to see our strength. Now they will choke on it." But Elias was not smiling. He knew what came next. The Jareth would not forget. They would not forgive. Across alien space, every listening post, every warship, every leader now knew humanity had pulled the trigger. The first strike had been made. The war had truly begun. The destruction of Core Station spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Human news channels called it the strike of justice. Alien broadcasts called it the murder at Core. On every world under the Jareth banner, military sirens wailed. Fleets launched from hidden docks. Massive carriers, shaped like black knives, slid into the void. The Jareth had been hit hard. Now they were coming back. 3 days after, Core fell. The first retaliation began. A human mining colony on the edge of the belt went silent. When rescue ships arrived, they found nothing but shattered rock and drifting wreckage. No survivors at the same time. Jareth warships appeared near Titan. They did not attack the city domes, but fired warning shots that melted the ice for kilometers around. It was a message: we can reach you anytime. On Mars Command, Admiral Rourke slammed his fist on the table. You're playing the fear game. They want us to scatter, to waste time defending every rock we own. Captain Elias stood beside him. Then we hit them where it hurts. Keep them too busy to think about us. Rourke nodded, agreed. We take the fight to them. But this time, we use everything. Operation Steel Tempest began that same night. Civilian freighters were stripped and rebuilt into missile platforms. Asteroid miners welded armor onto their rigs and mounted heavy cannons. Patrol drones were reprogrammed into kamikaze ships. Every ship that could move was given a weapon. The alien fleets were faster and stronger. But humans had something else: adaptability. When the Jareth sent a battle group toward Luna, they expected a few defense ships. Instead, they found an entire wall of civilian craft, each carrying enough explosives to tear open a cruiser. The aliens tried to retreat. But humans had learned from Core. Trap ships blocked their exit. Within minutes, 3 alien destroyers were nothing but glowing debris. But victory came with blood. The colony ship Silver Dawn was lost, defending the Mars defense line. The Aurora took a glancing hit from an alien plasma storm, leaving half her hull scorched. In the cold corridors of the Atlas, medical crews worked without rest. Their uniforms stained red. The war was no longer quick strikes and clean escapes. It was turning into a storm of fire that would burn until one side was gone. In the middle of this chaos, the human AI system Argus came online. Built in secret on Ganymede, Argus could track enemy fleet movements using fragments of intercepted transmissions, debris patterns, even thermal trails left in space. Its voice was calm and cold. Prediction: alien fleet will target Ceres within 26 hours. Rourke did not question it. He ordered a fleet to Ceres immediately. When the aliens arrived, expecting a weak mining station, they were met with a wall of human warships already in position. The trap worked. 5 enemy ships destroyed, captured. The prisoners refused to speak, but their eyes told the truth. They had not expected humans to be this fast. Still, the Jareth had numbers. For every alien ship destroyed, another 2 appeared from deep space. They began using new weapons, gravity pulses that could crush a ship's hull in seconds, and plasma storms that melted metal like wax. Human engineers worked day and night to adapt. Railgun slugs were coated with heat shields. Ship hulls were reinforced with layered ceramic. Every battle, humans learned something new. After weeks of fighting, the war map looked different. The Jareth still held the core worlds, but human fleets now patrolled deep inside alien territory. Every destroyed human colony was matched by a burned alien supply station. The galaxy was no longer sure who would win. One night, aboard the Aurora, Elias stood on the observation deck. The stars outside looked peaceful, but every one of them hid danger now. Lieutenant Harrow joined him. "Sir, I keep thinking about what Mira said before she left the ship. She told me, the galaxy underestimates us." Elias didn't look. "Away from the stars? Then let's make sure they never do again." The war had stopped being about revenge. Now it was about survival, and proving that humanity could not be broken. The war had burned for 7 months. World after world had seen fire in the skies. Entire fleets had been built and broken. And now, the road to Vether Prime. The heart of the Jareth Empire lay open. In the Aurora's war room, Admiral Rourke studied the last battle map. 3 alien fleets had been destroyed in the past week. Their supply lines were gone. Outer defense worlds had fallen. Only one stood between humanity and the alien capital, the Spine, massive orbital. Ring Fortress, armed with enough weapons to destroy a planet. Captain Elias stared at its hologram. "If we break the Spine, we break them." Rourke's voice was steady. "We're not breaking it, Elias. We're burning it out of the stars." The human fleet approached in total silence. No open comes, no bright engines. every ship cloaked in dark paint to blend into the void. At the signal, Aurora and her sister ships ignited their drives at full power. The surprise attack slammed into the spine before its weapons were fully active. Railguns pounded the ring's supports. Missile swarms tore through its shield nodes. Kamikaze drones ripped into its hangar bays, exploding deep inside. The aliens fought back with desperation. Gravity pulses, plasma storms, even suicide rams. Human ships died in fire, but they did not stop. After 4 hours of brutal combat, the fortress split apart. Segments of the ring spun away, glowing like dying suns. The road to Vether Prime was clear. 3 days later, the human fleet arrived above the alien capital. The city below shimmered with crystal towers, silver bridges, and black stone temples. Once, Elias had thought it beautiful. Now, he saw only the place where Mira Chen had been murdered. The Jareth fleet waited in orbit, smaller than expected. But armed to the teeth, Rourke gave the order, all ships, fire. The battle that followed was chaos. Alien ships weaved through the human lines, cutting hard and fast. But every time they broke through, human gunners cut them down. The Aurora took heavy damage. Her portside railgun destroyed, but she kept fighting. The Atlas broadside tore through the alien flagship, splitting it in two. When the last alien cruiser fell, silence filled the coms. The battle was over. Human dropships descended to the capital's main council hall. Elias led the strike. Team inside. The black stone walls still drank in the light, but now they echoed with the sound of human boots. The alien leaders sat chained, their eyes dark with hatred. Among them was the High Chancellor, the one who had raised the bloody flag. Months ago, Elias stepped forward. You executed peace. Now you face justice. The Chancellor's voice was cold. We never feared your weapons, human, only your will, and now I see why. Hours later, Admiral Rourke broadcast a message across every known star system. His voice was calm, but the steel in it carried. Across space, the people of the galaxy, this war began when our envoy was murdered. It ends today. The Jareth thought humanity was weak. They thought we would bow. They were wrong. We will never bow. We will never break. We are here to stay. Billions watched. Billions listened. And for the first time, many alien races whispered the same thing. The humans are not to be crossed. The war was over. But the stars were too quiet. Weeks later, aboard the Aurora, Elias stood alone in the observation deck. The galaxy seemed calm, almost peaceful, but something gnawed at him. Lieutenant Harrow approached with a datapad. Sir, you need to see. A probe picked up an unknown signal beyond Jareth space. It's not theirs, and it's massive. Elias looked out at the dark, endless sky. Somewhere out there, something was watching, and it had waited until the war was finished. The silence before a new storm.